It looks as if this whole referendum has nothing at all to do with the election of MMDC.
It has.
What is
The reason why it has is that it sets the basis, the legal basis upon which Article 243 Clause 1 will be amended.
Okay.
You see, one of the challenges, a no vote on Article 55 will be a problem. I personally, I think that there is nothing wrong with electing MMDCs. The problem has to do with how the election should be done. You know, there were two positions on the election of the MMDCs. The NDC during Prof. Mill's time, when the constitutional review process was concluded, the NDC had a position that, look, the government of the day should nominate some number of people, maybe 3 or 4, then the general populace, they said 5.
So the civil service would now narrow down to 3.
Yes. Then the populace will vote on those individuals. And then the MPP takes the contrary position. No, it should be across board. That proposal by the NDC, which I think would have helped in at least to promote inter-party solidarity. Because if you are MPP, your government is in power, and you want to win, you will have to work with the opposition. Other than that, they will not vote for you. And even when you are DC and you discriminate against the opposition, when it comes to the people making a decision on you, you will lose out. So at least the solidarity would have been there across political parties. But these competitive elections, it is going to further polarize the national polarization that we also have. It is going to go down to the local level. And secondly, it is going to make the elections very competitive because then political parties will have to sponsor their candidates financially and everything. And there will have to be primaries at the local level to elect candidates. We were told by the Westminster Foundation, a research that was conducted, we were told that it costs an average MP about 3 billion Ghana cedis to get himself elected as a parliamentary candidate.
Wow. That is huge.
As a candidate?
As a candidate, not the parliamentary election itself. Wow. This is a research that should have sparked a national debate on how to reform the way people get political office. I think that the cost of political office, the transaction cost of securing political office is simply too high. And that is having implications for the nature of corruption. Because the research was very clear that when people spend so much to get political office, the focus shifts from delivering public services to recovering the cost of
paying up their loans.
Yeah, their loans.
Let me
so that is a serious matter.
Let me come to Mr. Chancellor. On the 17th of December, what a lot of people don't still know the process. What if I'm going out to vote? What should I? How is it going to be?
Good. Come early as usual to the polling station. Go to the polling station where your name is found. If it's not there and you are somewhere and you want to transfer your vote to your location, you transfer it and go early to that place now. When you go early there, you just stand in your queue normally. You will have 3 ballot boxes on that day. I'll come to instance where you have 2 or even 1. You have 3 ballot boxes on that day. You would go and the election officer would give you a first ballot. And you go and cast your vote for the unit committee. The next table will issue you with assemblyman.
And the unit committee has how
5.
many? You are voting for 5.
Initially there were 15, but it has reduced to increase the interest. I'm due to 5. So you go and vote for assembly unit committee man you like of your choice, and then go to the next table and in a different ballot box. You go to the next table and they will give you another ballot paper which consists of your assemblyman, the local electoral area, assemblyman you want. You go and cast your vote for that. The next table will issue you with another ballot paper, which is asking the question: will you do you think that we should allow political party participation in local level elections? Is yes or no? And the yes is symbolized by a yellow color. Color yellow, and the space is there for it to pin to the right. Now the no is symbolized by the color brown. Dark brown. Just look at it, and then right, you can also print there if you want it not to be so. Then you go and cast your ballot box paper into your ballot box, and then leave the scene peacefully. But especially on peacefully, because some people have the tendency to get rubble rows. Don't drink, don't be found doing anything negative, and go back. There will still be security, but the security is just to help make sure that things are in order. Now, there are instances where you go and meet 2 ballot boxes there instead of 3, as I'm saying. That means that 2, the assemblyman could be the only fellow who has presented himself for election. And that is, they call it unopposed. So you only have unit committee and referendum ballot boxes. Now, there are other places where you go and meet only 1. That is, that the unit committee members are not up to 5 or 5, and not more than that. If there are 6, then there will be a ballot box for them. But if there are 5 or less, then there will be no ballot box there. And so it will only be left with only the referendum one, which you must go and cast your vote. Try and cast your vote. Perform your duty as a citizen of Ghana. That's a civic duty. Voting is a civic duty, and it's good to for all of us to participate in it. So when you go and participate, this is what you see at the polling station. Now, I have an advice, but when we come to it at tail end, I will now add my advice on that. Thank you.
If I can add a little bit to the public education. You know, the ballot papers that Mr. Chancellor has just talked about, I have not seen it myself as a CSO person. The yellow and the dark brown. Maybe as part of the roads, education they were doing, if they could have the ballots and they will be sharing it. Some people will need to take this to their homes and show it to the old women and old men in the house. Because some of them don't even appreciate, when you say yellow, they don't appreciate what yellow means. When you say dark brown, they don't appreciate it. So people need to see it. And then, they tell them this is what means before the day.
Mr. Alassane, just, concluding, you spoke about the pros and cons. Can you just tell us some of these pros and cons that you are talking about, so that people can be clear before they make the decision on the 17th of December?
What I see is that we are going to have a clash of interests when the election is competitive. In other words, when the DCE's party is different from the central government. You have a DCE who thinks he's autonomous. He has the powers to do whatever he wants. And then he may be doing things that is not in tune with the policies of the central government. And at that point, he will find it difficult raising funding from the central government. Mind you, the so-called independence that the DCE will have, it means nothing without resources. So I see that if people don't take care, one, the development that we are looking for, because many of the district assemblies have low capacity to generate revenue on their own. They rely a lot on the central government. I see instances where DCs will find it very difficult to finance projects that should come from central government, like roads, hospitals.
Doesn't it then go back to the point I was raising earlier, that once you elect a DCE that hasn't got any affiliations with central government, then he will find it difficult to work.
That is
so
very
are
true.
You then saying that a yes vote is something that people should believe, or a no vote? What do you think?
I think that if the parliamentarians in amending Article 243, which will allow the election of MMDCs, will make it will also try to polish it so that the election is done within the party in government and not competitive. You understand?
Then it will,
because
make
because
it
amending a yes vote on Article 55 also means that the ruling party can sponsor candidates alone. It is also partisan. When the NDC will have to, or MPP will have to put out its candidates,
even though they might not even be a known party person.
Once the party puts them up, it is also partisan. But then it is not competitive. So Article 55 is neutral. Political parties should be able to sponsor. That is okay. But the election, which is involved in Article 243, the parliamentarians could polish it so that only the ruling party will be able to put up candidates. If they do it like that, that is better. But if it is competitive, the disadvantages are many. Because look, just in the recent primaries of the various political parties, we have seen districts where a political candidate is seen executing projects in a district, and the impression is that it is not the DCE who is doing it, it is the parliamentary candidate. How can a DCE who is representing the president do not have the power to implement projects, and it is somebody who is aspiring to be an MP, rural electrification, he's able to do it? We have had instances where the MP is claiming that he has done these projects, and opposition people come to tell them it is not the MP, it is the DCE. So you can see what is going to happen. There's going to be a lot of conflicting, claims of development projects, and that will make DCEs whose government are not in power very impotent to work, because central government will feel that, look, let's undermine that gentleman so that our person will win the seats or the district the next time, and that is going to be a problem. The DCEs are the link for resource flow.
Okay.
Between party people.
Conduit for development.
Yes, not only development, but also the distribution of patronage goods.
Yes.
Before political party people at the constituency level or district level will benefit, it is the DCE they know. Sometimes your MP may not be in power in that constituency or district. So it is only the DCE who is left to be your person. Okay. So you can also approach him for development. So in a situation where both of them do not belong to your party, and your government is in power, it means nothing. So even the apathy that we are complaining about in local governance elections, it will even increase. It will come to a time the party which has never won the seat will feel that, look, this thing we shouldn't even go and vote because they have been winning, we are not benefiting, so let's back out. That is the problem. The assumption, the theory underlying, let's make it partisan. Some are saying it will stimulate participation in local level elections. Participation in elections is a money issue. If you don't pump in money, what does the assemblyman benefit? Nothing. He doesn't have a common fund, no salary, not even a motorbike. So what will make people rally around that person? He cannot motivate anybody. So instead of allowing the resources to flow, we want the power to flow. What the power is already in the House of Assembly. What can they do? At the current state, assembly members, if I'm wrong, Mr. Mark Chancellor can correct me. Assembly members have the right, by a 2/3 majority, to pass a vote of no confidence on a DCE who is not performing in the assembly, because the DCE do not chair the assembly. It is the presiding member. So it's more or less like the legislature. But how come the assembly is not able to hold DCEs accountable? Because they are the people's representatives in the assembly. So there's a structural problem to the way our local governance system functions, and just merely electing DCEs doesn't solve that problem. To be honest with you, it doesn't solve it.
I think we've had an in-depth discussion on the topic. Mr. Mark Chancellor,
yes.
What would be your closing remarks?
Yes, in these district level elections, let's say that we have, since 1988, when this country registered 58.6% of voter turnout for local level elections. Since then, we've never had that again. We've always been hovering around 35, 39, 35. We've never had 40%. I'm urging everyone to come out that day and vote massively to choose your assemblymen and union committees. Secondly, I'm urging people to, when you come out to vote, women are 52% of this nation's population, but they are heavily underrepresented in parliament, in the assemblies, and everywhere. You don't see them, and they are 52% of the country's population. Please, I don't know any woman by face, but when you come, give them a try. Give them a try, and they'll also be able to shape the development of your local areas. Some of them are more than capable, but because they fear to come out, because people victimize them or insult them, they don't even have the resources. But when we do that, when we are able to do that, then we will have a situation where the women can also be well represented. And in fact, they fear insult. Oh, she's a witch, she's a prostitute. Please, that is equal tantamount to slander. If anyone insults a woman like that, please just walk to the nearest DOFSO office. If you can't do anything and you are in Tamil Metropolis, come to my office, NCC office, inform me. I'm telling me because no politician or a chief can get you out of court if you are found culpable or get you free from the grips of the law. In fact, we also have women representation in parliament. So vote for a woman to when you get your place. Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Al-Hassan, what would be your closing remarks for?
My closing remark is that the decision on December 17th is nobody knows the consequence. And so I'm not very comfortable with the yes vote on that. Because we don't know what the parliamentarians will decide on Article 243 plus 1. And so I can only say that the people should be made to understand the consequences more before they go and vote. Other than that, currently, I don't see the picture. I am against so many elections at the local level, particularly partisan elections. It is very expensive. It is going to promote division. It's going to promote the corruption that we are complaining about. And mind you, elections do not even guarantee that the right people are selected as leaders. Nowadays, it's the person with the big wallet, the person who has the money get himself elected. And now you know that even the parliamentary level, the president still controls parliamentary elections, even parliament itself. So the assumed independence that we are envisaging by electing MMDCs, I don't think we'll achieve that. Yes. Because if you look at the parliamentary level, if you are not in the good books of your presidential candidate, it's less likely that you get yourself elected even as a parliamentary candidate. They have a way of controlling every constituency, and that is a resource problem. They will push somebody down, give the person money, and it doesn't matter how long you have been at the grassroots level fighting for the party, they will push you away. So please.
The discussion is getting more in depth.
Yes.
I think there are several other questions I would have loved to ask, but I think because this one is on the referendum, we find another time and then we will talk about the other governance, the other structures of governance that could help with regards to the governance of this country. And you've been listening to Mr. Al-Hassan Zablim. He's a policy analyst, and Mr. Mark Chancellor. He's the Metro Director. He's the Metro Director of NCC, National Commission on Civic Education. I'd like to say a big thank you for your time and then your views on this issue. We are very grateful. And you've also heard what they've said. The decision is yours to make, and remember, your vote is your power. Thanks so much for watching, and see you same time next week.